Hey folks, this is Brian. Hey, we finished up our session last night. One of our players is moving further north, so this was the last time he'd be consistently be able to come. He's still gonna try on occasion to come down, but we're not gonna be able to count on him, every month like we have been previously. So we want to make it a long session, so we started early. We weren't able to go too late though because it was Saturday night. We all have church in the morning. So we finished up with the camp they had made near the bog where they got ambushed by the bandits. The next morning they get up, start getting things around. They get rid of the burned wagon, dump off the ox that had died, and the one that was wounded they tied to the back of one of the other wagons, and they distributed the players and the other guards to replace the drovers who were all, well, not all of them killed, but a lot of them were killed from the will-o-wisp. So they get all that set up, and then there's a programmed attack by some, not the, by some of the air cultists who are trying to make a name for themselves by targeting the players. So they fly in. It's a programmed attack. They do 2 circles of javelin throws and they take off. So they come in. The PCs focus all their attacks on one guy, and I believe I gave them partial coverage because of the vultures. The fact that the vultures they're in the air flying around. But the way I play, people who are riding flying mounts, their saddles have straps and buckles. They don't fall out. They want to survive the flight and get back home. So, I mean, they're over 60 feet up, vultures in the way, they're shooting at him, shooting at him, shooting at him. They threw javelins, they fired arrows, cast some Eldritch Blast, blew him completely apart, really, because they got like 3 or 4 hits after he was dead before it got to his turn, and the vulture then flew away. They do the same thing to a second guy on the second circle around. Completely shoot him up. Again, he's tied into his saddle. They see he's up there. They shoot at him until it comes around his turn because, guys, I was rolling initiative scores really badly last night. It was horrible. The monsters were going at the end almost every single time. So they're only there for 2 rounds of throwing javelins down, so they split. So a total of like 3, 4, 5 javelins got thrown. Don't remember if they hurt anybody or not. So that was the end of that encounter. They get to Yartar, which I had them going to instead of Tribor. No, they did stop in Tribor so that they could make so that the Zentarum could make some arrangements and stuff like that. And there's actually some rumors and stuff in Tribor that I could pass information on to the players if they decided to just chill in the inn or the tavern for a while, right? But no, they're out, doing stuff, buying things, that kind of deal. So, okay. They missed out on that piece. Okay, so they finished up in Tribor. They head over to Yartar, spend the night there. Next day, they do some more shopping, and the caravan gets back up to head back to Barge Right In. I had them pick up, barge writing materials and Wayne writing materials, that kind of stuff, which is what I understand most of the trade stuff going up and down was about. So they gathered some of that stuff up and head on back. There is a random encounter I had rolled on the way to Tribor. They got attacked by a couple of wind elementals. They took them out. No issues. They get to the bog where they spend the night. Nothing happens. Next day they take off, and they get attacked by 2 hill giants. And it's kind of funny because one of the players was commenting. He was so close to getting to 6th level. He goes, if we just kill a couple of giants, we'll have enough to get 6th level. Well, sure enough, we got 2 hill giants attacking. So I put them out at range, have them throw boulders. And so there's like 2 to 3 rounds of the PCs moving up while the giants are throwing boulders. The rogue assassin wood elf. Moves fast. I think within 2 rounds he was in range for shooting with his bow. And so he started shooting, and the hill giants at that point focused fire on him, knocked him down. I think got down to like 9 hit points. But by then everybody else had moved up. They were within range, so the other giant moved forward to engage with his club, and hit a couple times, not too much, but this conservation of fire's effect when you're outnumbered is just makes mincemeat out of creatures. And these hill giants had one had just over 100 hit points, one had just under 100 hit points. So they would have wound, took him down, and one of the players has said, "Hey, these hill giants have got to have a cave somewhere nearby. We need to go and find it." So they do some search and roll, survival rolls, tracking, that kind of thing. So I just, back in my head, okay, sure enough, you find a trail. Well, they make good rolls. So they found a trail. I roll because they're looking for magic treasure. And so I roll in the DM's guide for treasure, and they had 100 and some odd gold pieces on them. I didn't bother rolling for silver and copper and stuff since nobody really uses that. And then I get to the cave, make a couple rolls. I did go ahead and roll out the platinum plus the gold they had there. Did not roll high enough for any magic items, but they did have a small bag of gems. So they distribute all this weight around them. 50 coins, 50 gold coins weighs 1 pound, according to some schematic thing I found in the DM's guide. And there was like 20 some odd 100 gold coins, but it all figured out to be just under 50 pounds worth of treasure. But there's 6 of them now. Yeah, 5 or 6 of them. So 10 pounds now. 10-pound weight. Take a 10-pound weight. Pick it up and hold in your hand. That's pretty hefty. Now put it in your backpack. It can drag on you, but we weren't worrying too much about encumbrance at that point. So they get back to they start going back to the caravan. And I had previously rolled all the random encounters, and the third random encounter they run into is Earth Cult Marauders. But it was actually supposed to happen the next day, but I just had them out in front of the cave when the players come out. They try to do some talking. There's only three of the guards and one priest. Real small party. They're not going to be able to do much against the PCs. Just PCs are going to just make mincemeat out of them. But so they start doing some talking. The priest talks about how the party has been a pain in their ass, that kind of thing. And as these discussions are going on, the barbarian says, "Are we going to fight or what?" And he moves up and attacks. So I gave him a free surprise round. Free round. He attacked on the end of the round 0 kind of thing. So he got to attack. The cultists all surround the barbarian guy because he's big. But he's got that bear cloak totem thing that he wears all the time, and so he's very identifiable. They all swarm on him, but they get picked apart by everybody around him. And the priest gets hit a couple of times again. I rolled badly on initiative, so they're going to the end of the round. Once the priest got down to half hit points, okay, she's going to cast Expeditious Retreat and take off, but she got killed before her turn came around to them at that round. So fairly quick. Bam, 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 bam. So they get back, the party gets back to the caravan. They go down Red Larch and down to Barge Ride Inn. They get paid off the final for the payment. They buy some horses, and their plan is to go to the Sacred Stone Monastery. What they want to do is find evidence that it's the cultists that are causing all of the strange, whether the fire and the wind and the water and all that kind of stuff that's happening, all these elemental things happening, and that it's not Grumish. In order to give that evidence back to the High War Chief of the Ice Shield Orcs, in order to establish some kind of a peace thing up there. And so they have an emissary in Orog, who one of the PCs has been running for me. Okay, so they make camp outside the cavern, or the crevice that leads to the monastery. And they put the horses up there, and they send the rogue assassin up to just sneak and check and that kind of thing. Sometimes I'll roll the PC stealth because they don't know if they're successful or not. And I did in this case, but he rolled fine. So he gets up there and he's checking her out. There's no obvious guards around, nobody patrolling that he saw, but there were lights inside the monastery. So he goes back and he tells the party that, and so they decide they're going to sneak up there. And one of these guys is a paladin in plate. He rolled an 18 and a 20. And everybody else rolled well too. So they snuck up to the monastery. And they're not going through the main front doors. There's a side door on the right-hand side that every single time that this party, no matter who the PCs have been, gets there, that's where they go in. They go through that door. So the rogue goes up there, picks the lock, they go in. I'm making some rolls because there was a partial refill on the monastery. I took the hobgoblins from the temple with the cultists boulette, put them up top. Repopulated the Minotaur front door guards, brought in some more cultists to take care of everybody, brought up a black priest and 2 ogres, and that came from one of the retaliation things, to repopulate the top, to help defend the top, to keep people from getting down to the temple. Now, it's getting close to night at this point, and so there's going to be some kind of shift turnover. During the day, they're not worried too much. The 2 Minotaurs are just keeping track in the front door kind of deal. But at night, I have the hobgoblins take over the role that the Drugar had previously, so they'll start patrolling around at night. So I'm rolling to see, is anybody coming by? Does anybody hear anything, that kind of deal? They get in, they know, they just want to go down. They don't want to miss anything up here. So they go to the stairs and they come on down. There is a hobgoblin patrolling through the area, but he doesn't actually intersect with any of them or hear anything. So they go down and they open up into the Orog and Ogre guard shack at the bottom of the stairs. And I asked them, okay, how are you gonna do this? What's gonna happen? And the half orcs in front got a little marching order set up. And he said, I'll open up the door. And so he opens the door. The ogre sitting there right next door stands up, points at, it's you, and pulls out his club. Roll initiative. We're gonna fight because the hobgoblins went up, found out what happened, went down, talked to the Orog and Ogre. Nobody comes through here except for us. So they've got these marching orders, kill everybody, kind of thing. So they swarm. It is a tight fit. There's only one spot. The half orc is there. Somebody else kind of squiggles through him. The Orog NPC. They have him move over and attack the ogre. He moves in, scoots around the corner, but he sees all these other Orogs, and so he doesn't attack other Orogs. They're cousins. He just doesn't feel right doing that. So he's just kind of standing there watching when the PC half orc got really, really upset about that and was kind of curmudgeon most of the rest of the evening about just because of that. But hey, he's young. So anyway, they go into the room. The ogre had really low hit points. They go through him real quick. They turn on an Orog that's on the other side of the doorway, and they're fighting him. Lady Jovashai gets down far enough where she can do her hypnotic trance thing, and she captures the 3 Orogs in the back. They kill the fourth Orog, so go to the Orogs, take their weapons away, tie them up. I do some timing calculations, and it lasts for a minute, so they can pretty much get everybody tied up and take their stuff away before the spell goes out. And then the paladin is very diplomatic, wants to talk with people, get things straight, and convince people that they don't need to be fighting us, that kind of thing. And so he goes into the spiel with the Orogs and makes some reaction rolls, and the Orog says, he offers, hey, we will pay you to come along with us. What would that cost? And I came up with 2 gold pieces per day plus a share kind of thing. And And so they now have 4 Orogs in their party, 3 mercenaries plus the emissary. And I make some more reaction rolls because they start asking, what's on this level, what's going on? One time we saw a Grick, Drugar come up here from time to time. Is some violent fungi on occasion. There's stuff that creeps up here from down below. And I made some more reaction rolls, and one of the Orogs says, "Hey, what do you want to do with the prisoners?" Because that's their job. Their job is to control the prisoners. And if they leave, the prisoners will starve to death. Does the Org really care? I don't know. But I made a reaction roll, and he was, friendly, willing to do this kind of stuff. So he says, "Hey, what about the prisoners?" They go, "Prisoners? What prisoners? Come on, I'll show you." Pulls the keys off the ogre. They go down to unlock all the prisoners. Well, first they asked how many there were. A dozen or so. There's actually 17. So they go down there. They're all human except for one dwarf. They talk with him. He was part of the Mirabar delegation. He talks about how they got ambushed, how he and 3 diplomats got captured and brought across. They got ambushed by these bandits on vultures. One of the diplomats, a moon elf, got captured by them and taken away. But the other 2 diplomats that were captured with him that made back to the monastery, they got taken down below. The hobgoblins or the Orog know nothing about, other than the fact that they only went down there, know nothing about what's going down in the temple. So the party then winds through, no random encounters in the mines. They go down the stairs to the temple. They start crossing the bridge. More gargoyles attack. And I've been fighting with these rules on pushing them off the bridge. It should not be an issue for a flying man-sized creature, to hit another man-sized creature on a bridge and knock him over. Should not be an issue. But the rules don't really support that. Now, they do allow a shield rush knockback kind of thing if you give up one of your attacks, but it's athletics, strength athletics roll against either strength athletics or a dex acrobat roll. And these gargoyles weren't all that tough. They're all like 10, 11, 12. One had a 16 strength. They're not going to be able to, they don't have any real chance of getting, these huge guys or, these elves to be able to do anything against them. So I just, okay, who are they attacking? I rolled dice. 3 of them swarmed on the paladin. One flew down onto the half-orc, and another one's attacking one of the Orok. And so combat ensues. The guys have a terrible time getting through the paladin. A rule that I had forgotten to think about, and this is because we're doing mostly theater of the mind at this point, is the fact that there were 3 gargoyles on the paladin. They're going to get advantage. Now, it's true they get 2 attacks, so I was rolling 2 dice anyway, but 2 attacks per round at advantage. Now, the paladin's got an armor class of 23 at this point because he's plate and shield, and he cast Shield of Faith on himself before they came around the corner. And he did his magic sword thing as well. So I should have been rolling 4 dice instead of 2 dice per gargoyle every round. The odds of a 20 popping up on that occasion increased dramatically. Now, I remember this once you actually start putting figures out on the board because somebody wanted to move around and do something. So we put the gargoyles out there and go, oh, shoot, I should have been doing advantage of all these attacks. Lesson learned. Whatever. But anyway, once I remembered that, I started rolling advantage for these guys. And so there were like 2 or 3 crits that got through. And it was just a slash. It was 2d6 plus. These guys actually had no strength bonus because they're pretty weak. And it was 2d6 like 3 times. So he got hit, enough that it started to worry him. But as he's fighting, it was his first attack. His first attack hit, second attack fumbled. He threw his sword. I had him roll